This will be tight and tense and tough to call. An old classic for the Disability Cup weekend, but a new flavour. The years of Aspire or West Brom dominance are over, and a new name will be etched into the history books. But will it be Leeds, or will it be Teeside that taste FA Disability Cup glory for the first time? One of these two will do the double. Leeds are the league winners. Teeside took the WFA Cup, both claiming their respective titles for the first time this season. And their games this campaign have both been draws when facing each other, so calling a winner feels near impossible. So the teams, and starting with Leeds, their 5 starters feature Ethan Fisher in goal, who's been recently voted as the Premiership's Player of the Season. Lewis Harris and Dylan Kelsall have both appeared in previous finals, winning one and losing the other. Dan Rigby completes their setup, joint top scorer in the league. And why joint top scorer? Well, because for Teeside, Mitch Tinkler is there, matched him with 17 goals. Greg Baxter's been part of our punditry team in previous years, but has now swapped the commentary box for the goalkeeper's box. The rest of the outfield is made up by 2 England internationals in Ed Common and Tyler Reeve. Charlie McLennan also joins us for this Powerchair Final. And Charlie, this could be a battle of the tactics. There are 2 common approaches to Powerchair football, and both could be employed by these 2 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the introduction. I am delighted to be here, and this is a really interesting game. You've got Leeds that will play that 4-out system where the goalkeeper Ethan Fisher on screen now will be completely involved in the attacking play, and then Teeside that will maybe take a more conservative approach. Greg Baxter in the goal will generally stay to the confines of his penalty area, but they are 2 fantastic attacking teams, and even though they are different in shapes, their intentions are just the same.
And Charlie, you picked out Fisher in goal. Why was that as one to watch?
Because he was, as was mentioned, the standout player in the Premiership last season, just dominant in the centre for Leeds, does much more than a goalkeeper in any sport would usually do. He really is the beating heart of that team. He's fantastic, physical, passing range is superb.
And for Teeside, you picked out Tyler Reeve as the player to watch.
Yeah, an England senior international, been dominating the centre of the court for years now for Teeside. He was the playmaker of the league last season with 21 assists. He is just phenomenal and has an absolute cracking goal in him as well. When he gets it in the centre on that full spin, he can generate so much power.
So that is the Leeds head coach, Russ Rigby. Son Dan is part of the outfield team. And Owen Swift is in charge of the Teeside contingent. So the TV showpiece, the centre stage, and the crowning finals to their seasons. League champions versus cup winners. Who needs the problem? We're finding the extra space on the trophy shelf. Off we go for a tactical battle. A really intriguing sport, and if it follows the rest of the finals we have seen this weekend, then it is impossible to call.
And Charlie, you know more about Powerchair than most people. As Mike said, it's difficult to call. You agree with that statement, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. 2 draws in the league. I could see this one going the whole distance. Extra time and penalties would not surprise me in this game. These teams are just so evenly matched.
It's a 40-minute match, 2 20-minute halves before we have to worry about extra time. Match ball, as you can see there, larger than your standard football. It is a 33-centimetre ball in diameter. They're not cheap either. The whole sport itself is an expensive sport, Charlie, as your family know. And this is part of the regular problem these clubs have to do. The funding for these players often self-funded as well. They buy the chairs themselves, but yet it comes at a pretty price.
Yes, it does. Teeside and Leeds are both self-funded clubs, meaning they're not supported by a foundation like West Bromwich Albion, for example. So these players really do it all for themselves, and the kit is so expensive. A new chair will cost you between sort of 11 and 13,000 pounds. It's really a massive commitment financially that the families of these players take on, and that's before you take in the financial commitment of travelling for games and just supporting the players. It is an absolutely incredible sport, but it's not cheap.
Some solid defensive and goalkeeping work going on there, but where is that ball rolling and narrowly wide of the post?
Yeah, that was definitely not what Greg Baxter was intending to do there. He's tried to just clear it out with the full spin, and it's nearly come back to bite him. Luckily, it just didn't quite have the direction to get inside that post, but an early warning sign out of nothing for Teeside.
Baxter was backtracking, and in comes the corner, gets a touch. One chance, two chances, Baxter's in the way. Three times. Solid goalkeeping from Greg Baxter. Swiped in. Cover is there. Here to 3 saves, some solid goalkeeping from Greg Baxter there.
Yeah, that last one, that full spin that he manages to generate so much power, those are the ones that can really hurt you. You want to try and stop those on the edge of your own box if you can.
There are slightly different rules in Powerchair football, as I'm sure you can imagine. We'll try and keep you across those as they happen, but what you may have seen from that corner, Greg Baxter, the goalkeeper, of course. Teams are only allowed one other player, one other defender inside that box. You can see the goalkeeper, Ethan Fisher, and his teammate Lewis Harris doing the defending there for Leeds, this time in the penalty area.
Ed Common, the winger there. He's nicknamed the Magician by those in the Powerchair football community. When he gets the ball on his chair, he very rarely loses it.
Common again, and it's found Reeve. Spin from Tinkler was unsuccessful. Comes Rigby. Certainly knows how to find the goal. The spin post from Lewis Harris. And Tyler Reeve will try and get it away now for Teeside. Fisher, referee has just blown his whistle.
Yeah, contact foul there. Dylan Kelsall, the judge, to have just smacked the back wheel of Tyler Reeve through the ball. Bit too much force in it, and so it will be a direct free kick for Teeside.
Be trying to get in position, but will be up by Tyler Reeve.
You mentioned, sorry, Mike, you mentioned the 4 up, Charlie. We've seen already in this game, Ethan Fisher, the Leeds goalkeeper, barely been anywhere near his goal so far.
Yeah, he does like to roam. Him and Lewis Harris, the central pairing, they'll generally try and have one of them back to cover. So right now, Lewis Harris is pressed up, Ethan Fisher's gone back, but it's massively interchangeable between those two.
Testing the ball closely here. Reeve trying to get around his opponent in Lewis Harris. Just in a turn, but it's Harris who comes out on top. Might have a swipe at the ball for a shot at goal here. A lot of Leeds pressure in these opening 6 minutes or so of the first half. Just wide.
Yeah, he's just trying to test the gap there at the front post. In the last game week of the Premiership, he actually scored a goal like that, Ethan Fisher, against Teeside. Greg Baxter sort of fell asleep and there was a gap at the front post that he could exploit. Trying to do the same there, but just wide.
Talked about the cost. The ball's alone, around £50. Here is Kelsall going forward for Leeds. It by Ed Common. Common, who's been playing Powerchair football since it existed in 2006. Been at the World Cup with England in the past. Used to be a one-club man, but then switched allegiances and joined Teeside 3 years ago. Left behind Northern Thunder, the side based in Newcastle.
Does that happen much, Charlie? Signings between teams?
Yeah, it's quite frequent actually. It's become more frequent in recent years. There used to be a lot of one-club men about 3 years ago, but now pretty much half of the players on this court have made moves in the last 3 seasons. For example, Leeds, Ethan Fisher, Dylan Kelsall, 2 of the players out there on the court, joined only last summer. So Greg Baxter, another one who transferred to Teeside recently. So yeah, they can move a lot in Powerchair football.
What is the most common reason for changing clubs?
Ambition, usually. You'd be surprised the lengths that these players are willing to go to travel to train every week. Some making over 2.5, 3 hour commutes weekly to go and train. And so yeah, it's usually ambition, where they think they'll fit in, playing time. For a lot of these players, it's about trying to stake their claim for a place in the national team.
Yeah, and the greatest example out there right now, Dylan Kelsall, was at West Brom, but he wanted that ambition of being a captain for a side, so he joined Leeds. He's brought Leeds success in the league, but now wants FA Cup glory too. Tinkler, clever manoeuvre. Yes, Teeside look for their first real test on Ethan Fisher's goal.
Charlie, does the player try and find the club, or does sometimes the club go after a player?
Well, there are rules from the WFA that should say that you're not allowed to approach players during the season anyway, but there's always little chats going on.
I feel like there's a butt coming, isn't there?
There's always little chats going on, but usually, you know, it will be a mix of both. It's a very social community, so people will just talk. They'll talk about their prospects, and if there's a player looking for a club, that will become very public knowledge very quickly.
Lewis Harris with the rear of his wheelchair just getting in the way and preventing a Teeside opener. But they are not finished yet. Reeve. Harris again in the way. Harris, another former West Brom man. 2 finals, 1 win, 1 defeat. Which way do the scales tip this year?
Charlie, anybody that's watched Powerchair football, at least at the Disability FA Cup for the last 10 years, will recognise the names of Aspire and West Brom. They've not gone anywhere, have they? It's not really a total changing of the guard. They're still around, but it's a lot more competitive in depth now, it seems.
Absolutely. There's 5 genuinely great sides in the country now. The England squad is split across 5 different teams, and yeah, they're very, very evenly distributed now, and just this year it was the year of Teeside and Leeds, but it wouldn't surprise me if in years coming up we do have another Aspire West Brom final. They've not gone anywhere, there's just more quality distributed.
Forward come Teeside, Ed Common getting himself in position, great cross, deflects the wrong way off Reeve, and now maybe a counter-attack comes from Leeds. Kelsall into the middle. Race on to keep it in play, and they have. Miscue from Fisher. Now to play. It goes. There you go. There's Teeside's Greg Baxter. And Middlesbrough's industrial history there, shown through one of the famous steel bridges. Owen himself is a massive Middlesbrough fan. Playoff heartbreak for him. Don't believe Teeside have been spying on Leeds.
I think it's unlikely.
Of course, they know each other well enough that they don't need to spy, really, these two.
Yeah, they'll play each other in the Premiership twice. They're also in the same regional league, the North East Regional League, so that's another 2 games a year. And plus, 4 of these players play against each other basically every 3 weeks at England camp, so there are no secrets out there on this court.
So they have to find another advantage. Reeve against Kelsall. Tinkler nicely back to Reeve as well, and this is Common spreading out wide. It's clever work from Teeside, but the block's in the way. Harris again.
Teeside are playing some incredible stuff. That connection between Common and Reeve is really causing problems for Leeds.
Best move of the match so far, Tinkler! And Teeside take the lead. Smart movement. The move of the match didn't work, but they followed it up pretty swiftly. And Tinkler is there. 1-0 to the side from the northeast.
Yeah, I called him the magician, and that is a moment of magic from Ed Common. The ball across in that gap is absolutely incredible. And then the finish from Mitch Tinkler, for a player of his quality, is routine, into an open goal. You have to say Teeside have been the better side, and so they probably a good value for this lead.
Tinkler already has his name in the history books of Teeside. He scored the goal that got them into the Premiership a few years ago. And maybe now, we knew this final would be tight and tense. Maybe, just maybe, he's given Teeside the goal that could win them their first FA Disability Cup. Chance on to get to the ball first. Referee again has blown his whistle.
Yeah, another contact foul. Mitch Tinkler just reverses into Lewis Harris out on that byline.
Tinkler trying to keep that in. Watch those metal cages. That's smart. Oh, how about that? Dylan Kelsall. The smart, the swivel. And now this final is lit up 1-1.
What a game this is. That is a fantastic response from Leeds. It all comes from the link-up between Rigby and Kelsall on the wings, and then he just spots that little bit of space in behind Greg Baxter, takes it on the full spin and powers it in. Leeds bite back already, and yeah, that is a great response to going behind.
There was barely more than a ball's width to squeeze through, but Kelsall found it. And the skill on display, it's every year it's just jaw-dropping because there are so few opportunities to watch on live TV Powerchair football, and it seems a real shame when you get a start to a game like this.
Yeah, we wish we could display this sport more often on TV because it is absolutely breathtaking. And although this has been a very special start to the game, players are doing this basically on a weekly basis in the Premiership, putting on performances, technical skills like this. It really is an incredible sport.
Seen 2 great goals so far, and we are far from done. 5 minutes left of the first half. Reeve contesting with Kelsall. Kelsall, who only joined Leeds this season, has made it worthwhile with the goal in the final. Swipe from Harris, blocked by Baxter. Fisher, the other goalkeeper, nudges it forward. Can we get the right angles here? Found almost a 270 spin there from Leeds. pressure getting forward. He's left Harris back. First time we've seen that in the game.
2-on-1 given in favour of Leeds. Tinkler and Common dragged in a little bit. You're not allowed to be within 3 metres of both the ball, an opponent, and a teammate. That's what they were, and so it's an indirect free kick. Didn't use that to their advantage though.
Harris and Reeve eyeing up one another and the ball. He has him covered off for now. Harris, though, has kept that in. It's the back of Reeve. The corner would be again. Knows perfectly what to do. The mastering of these chairs. The manoeuvrability. I had a go once and I was woeful.
Yeah, I am also terrible.
Does your brother ever let you practice?
I honestly don't think I could drive his chair. I've tried. We used to practice together. When he wasn't as good, I had a chance, but now he's reached England level, yeah, he leaves me in the dust.
You made him. You helped make him.
Yeah, I tell him that often.
Both claiming, and Teeside have got it. All the way through. Harris is able to see that clear. Now Baxter will see that go by. So the women's rugby final is today. One of these two teams will be crowned champions, Saracens or the Ealing Trailfinders. It's at the Stoop, live from 2:15 on TNT Sports 1 and HBO Max. And don't miss season 3, the Emmy Award-winning House of Dragon as well. New episodes drop weekly on HBO Max. And the ball is sneaking all the way in. Nothing that Baxter could do to prevent yet another goal from Dylan Kelsall. That's 2 for him, 2 for Leeds, and right on half-time, the Yorkshire side have the advantage.
Yeah, that one's a bit sloppy from Teeside, a bit of a miscommunication between Baxter and Reeve, and then Dan Rigby just plays the ball perfectly into that gap. A fantastic pass from him, and Dylan Kelsall, when given a chance like that, is never going to pass that up. 2 for him and 2 for Leeds.
Another F8 Disability Cup final and another turnaround. This time Teeside had the lead, but Leeds, through their captain Dylan Kelsall, have responded. He has tasted both sides of a cup final, but at the moment he has put his side in front and half a game away from lifting silverware. At the break, Leeds 2, Teeside 1. So a big second half ahead. We called it tight to begin with. Leeds have the advantage. Charlie McClellan, is this final over yet though?
Definitely not. We saw how the game can change after Teeside went ahead, and both of these sides have the quality in their ranks to claw themselves back into it. I think another goal for Leeds and it would be very tetchy for Teeside, but they are more than in this game.
Right, no changes for either side. Leeds only have one substitute available to them, that's Jack Maxwell. 2 on the Teeside bench, Dylan Pearson, Alistair Hay. Leads the side in yellow. Maybe who knows where the goal is. Not to make that impression yet in this final, but there is still plenty of time.
Charlie, these games are fairly cagey affairs. In 8 of the last 9 finals, 2 goals would have won. Is what we're seeing a change in how the game is being played, or just how these 2 teams in particular set themselves up?
I think they've really set themselves up aggressively in this one, perhaps more so than ever before. They're really going for it and perhaps sacrificing a bit of that defensive stability to do so. Leeds, especially after going 1-0 down, I think sort of thought, well, let's just go for it, and it worked out for them. It's been a really good final. I mean, 2 goals in any Powerchair football game is usually enough, but this is a half unlike I've really seen in a high-profile game, so we don't know.
You mentioned during the break that these teams kind of agree, like unofficially, that let's put on a great show for the crowd. This is an advert for the sport.
Yeah, it's really important that they showcase the sport at its best, and I think that's what they've done so far. Of course, both sides desperately want to win. Nobody wants to get beaten on television in front of your friends and family in the crowd, but it's also really important for the sport that they put on a good show.
Fisher had a swipe, and Reeve gets the block in importantly for Teeside. Common. Nice cover, the goalkeeper getting involved in Ethan Fisher. That is just about kept in by Common. He's done really well here, Common. Can he line himself up for the shot? Block comes in from Harris, who positioned himself well enough. Common's not giving up the idea yet. It looked for a moment like there might have been an opening for Ed Common. Side by side, Reeve had a go, it's creeping, wide.
They're out for a goal kick. That was dangerous for Leeds because Ed Common was advancing and the goalkeeper Ethan Fisher wasn't in his box, but he managed to get back and they see it out quite well. Good defending in the end.
Fisher's going to face Common again here. Does have the cover of Lewis Harris at the back. Should the ball break free of Ethan Fisher. Kelsol's just blowing it. Sorry, the referee rather is just blowing his whistle with Kelsall involved. Yeah,
just a judge to have swung into a stationary Mitch Tinkler there. A bit of a 50-50 that one. I think it's the right decision though. Just goes in the way of Teeside. This is a direct free kick now, so a good chance for Teeside.
A little gap maybe that Reeve fancies to aim for. And his teammate, but straight on at the front of Ed Common's Powerchair. Teeside were league winners a couple of years ago. Leeds took it off them this year. This final feels like it's been building over the years for these two. Spire and West Brom had the dominance for so long. There were about 5 teams who could have won the league this season. Not forgetting Greenbank, who were involved in that 5-team setup in the Premiership. Good evolution in these chairs. They no longer tip up as they once used to.
Yeah, it's very safe. Very rarely see any sort of incident where a player tips. I don't think I've seen one in person since being involved with the sport, and I can only remember one incident. It's a very safe sport. Of course there's risk, you know, the ball can fly up, but I think when you play any sport you put yourself, your body at risk slightly.
Common. Marshalled out by now was Tyler Reeve. Has a go, but the ball is going up the other end of the field in alert for Teeside. Swipe from Fisher. Rigby. Have a go at assisting a teammate. Teeside get themselves organised. Common. Limited by Fisher. Reeve knew where he wanted to go with that, but Fisher blocked it. And Common then does the same, stopping Fisher, having a go at goal.
Patient attacking play from Leeds, particularly from Dan Rigby there, just taking the ball with him in the corner. He knows that Teeside can't risk getting pulled out of shape by coming out to engage him. Tries to play the passes back into the centre. Good play, doesn't quite make an opportunity.
Dan Rigby, who's an England development player, now pushing for a spot in the senior setup. Fisher slammed against by Tinkler. Teeside, a side that are formed out of fractions within other teams. Took them 2 to 3 years to build to get their first accolade, but they're really pleased with the fast progress they have made as a team. Third in the league this year behind Leeds and Aspire. Aspire based in Watford. And the first time they've ever missed out on a broadcasted final. Fisher, Kelsall. We have seen you in plenty of hat-tricks this weekend, and I'm going to raise it that Dylan Kelsall's on one as well.
Do you know what? It's funny because if you'd said which game this weekend you will not see a hat-trick, you would have said Powerchair because there's so few goals generally. I'd love to be proven wrong.
He's the captain, so put the team first, but it has to be going through his head. Surely, on TV, a chance to score a hat-trick. I know he's got loads of family in the crowd too. I wouldn't expect him to be making any unnecessary passes.
In 9 years, there's only ever been one hat-trick in Disability Cup finals. That was John Boulding for Aspire back in 2019.
Kelsall advanced. Fisher still waits to play the right ball at the right time with this free kick. He has a go. Baxter blocks.
Two on one in favour of Teeside. Harris and Rigby just dragged in a bit too close there. It's a really fine line you've got to walk. You don't want to, be too far apart. You'd be pulled apart defensively if that was the case, but just a bit too close there.
He's in with a chance here, squeezed against the post. Dan Rigby. Baxter is so tight to that post, there'll be no room through.
Up until that point, Charlie, this half has felt a bit more tactical and less gung-ho than the first 20 minutes. Have you spotted that, and what are the two teams trying to do?
Leeds are just trying to control this now. Control the pace, control the territory, keep the ball far away from their goal. They know that Teeside are the side that need to score.
Kelsall having a look. Does the ball run kindly for him? Two players of the defending team allowed in the box, and it's Reeve who chases Kelsall out. Reeve having to show some smart footwork there to get out the way of Dylan Kelsall's reversing chair.
This is better now. A rare opportunity for Teeside to get into Leeds territory. They need to make this count.
Scored to a really well-worked move, Teeside. If they can find the similar link-up that they had, they'll have Leeds in trouble. So a change is going to happen, and Mitch Tinkler is going to depart, having got the goal that put Teeside in front. And Dylan Pearson, who went to school with the coach Owen. They've known each other a long time. Pearson enters the futsal hall.
Yeah, Mitch Tinkler, a good performance from him. Did his job very well. He was isolated at times, but the more attacking winger often is. Dylan Pearson now looking to try and have a similar impact and get his side back into this game.
And it will run through to Pearson. He's had a go. Reeve. It's a block that prevents Leeds going across the midway point. Rigby. Oh, it deflects off a Teeside man in Reeve, but in his wheelchair position well enough.
Yeah, very blatant 2-on-1 there. Common and Reeve within probably 2 meters of each other. They just couldn't get away from each other. Common got trapped in the corner. There are also rules that say you can't go off the court to avoid giving away a 2-on-1, so that's why Common became trapped. Indirect free kick now.
So it looks like Fisher is going to try and tee up Rigby. Like that.
So close. They call that the boom boom in Powerchair football, where one player smacks the ball off another rotating player. It's very difficult to execute because the timing has to be perfect, but so close for Leeds there. If Dylan Kelsall had just been hugging that back post slightly more, he may have had a tap in.
Kelsall is lurking. Can he find a way to angle the shot? Look for the teammate instead on the assist. These situations all about the run of the ball, and he gets the fortune. It's Kelsall trying to position himself. He might be closed down quickly. Nudged away by Common. He was thinking about it there. It was Dylan Kelsall and that hat-trick that still awaits him.
And there is Chris Gordon watching on, no stranger to St George's Park. England vice-captain, West Brom captain, 3-time winner. Big name in the Powerchair game, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll be really disappointed not to be out there playing right now. I imagine quite a sense of FOMO on the sideline there, but it's great that he's come to support some England teammates and to support the sport of Powerchair football.
It's the final for the lingo. Boom, boom, FOMO. Reeve. Fisher. Gets past Reeve. Leaves it for Rigby. Rigby looking for Kelsall. Safety first from Reeve there. He wasn't presented with many options.
Yeah, he was just really left to try and find a way out of that. This is really good from Leeds. They're really putting the squeeze on Teeside and being very difficult to create chances.
Sends it away. Fisher nudges it back towards goalkeeper Kelsall. Rigby, 3-1. And it looks like the Disability Cup is heading in the direction of Leeds. Rigby, the top scorer in the league, proving the point. And he has Leeds 2 clear.
Yeah, again the link up between the Leeds wingers. This time Kelsall assisting, and what an assist it is. That is an absolutely ridiculous pass on the full spin. The ball's behind him, he picks out Rigby, and Rigby doesn't even spin into it, he just lets it bounce off into the corner. What a brilliant goal, and that should put the game beyond Teeside now.
5 minutes to go. The one trophy that Teeside have not been able to get their hands on yet. All FA Cup winners this year. And the league champions a couple of seasons ago. Looks like it's Leeds heading for the double in 2026. Kelsall back to Fisher. Baxter and Reeve had that covered between them.
Two goals up with 5 minutes to play. There's no way Leeds should be losing this now, is there?
No, definitely not. They should just be able to control this. I assume they will, because they're such mature, intelligent players. I think Teeside have just created nothing in the second half. They've been really well contained.
Unless Reeve looks for Common. Might come back to Reeve. Common will charge. Kelsel's on the reverse. It's been a really enjoyable final yet again. Technical ability of these players to manoeuvre, to position, to know exactly how to play and pass when required. Pearson. And here is Kelsall. Is this his moment? Couldn't quite get the ball to slow down as he would have wanted it to. Two goalkeepers on the halfway line.
Substitution for Teeside.
Change for Teeside. Backs to the goalkeeper. He's going to be replaced, and Alistair Haig will come on in his place and get the goalkeeper's bib.
Yeah, fantastic goalkeeper, Greg Baxter, but conceding 3 in a final like this is always going to be disappointing. He'll be really gutted, but still a fantastic day to play in front of your family. And Alistair Hay, a great opportunity as well to get on at St George's Park in the FA Disability Cup final.
Alistair Haig, who signed from Leeds, travels from Wakefield every week to play for Teeside. Reeve, Pearson. Common. To nudge it through for Pearson. This could set up a dramatic ending.
For Leeds, number 27, Dylan Kelsall.
No surprise with 2 goals in a cup final that Dylan Kelsall gets the player of the match.
Yeah, I've given it to him because of the goals and the assist, but also because of his captaincy in this game. His side fell behind and he dug them out of it. They've been fantastic ever since that Teeside goal. A really mature, intelligent and also quality performance from Dylan Kelsall. A day he'll be very, very happy with, I'm sure.
And to put the crowning glory on Rigby. Kelsall races across. Wants that hat-trick, pulls away. Is chasing. Tour de France coming up next week. TNT Sports, part of the Summer of Sport, which is also including the Commonwealth Games from Glasgow, 23rd of July to the 2nd of August. And we cannot wait for both. Every medal will be shown live and exclusively on the TNT Sports Network, the network and HBO Max. We've had the 20 minutes of the second half. All of that to come next season on TNT Sports as well. From the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup and more. 2 minutes of added time. Kelsall. Again, it's team first and he tries to find a teammate. And Harris, the connection he wanted. Pearson can't keep that in. Leeds 60 seconds away from glory.
Let's see briefly, goal scorer Dan Rigby come off to be replaced by Jack Maxwell. Get a couple of minutes at the end.
Maxwell's goal that helped seal the title for Leeds. Doesn't have quite the pressure coming on now. Common. To Reeve. And it is Leeds' year. The league champions get the double and add the FA Disability Cup to their collection. The match officials will get their medals in just a moment. Ray Ashley will present them, Director of Partnerships at Activity Alliance. These referees, some of the top officials in the game.
Paul Yates, the centre referee, did a fantastic job. No controversy, which is a good day for a referee. A deserved televised cup final appointment for him. He'll be on the path to international refereeing soon too. A really experienced official in the English game.
If you're only name-checking the referee at the end of a match, he's done a good job. And Paul certainly did that with the help of his other officials too. Unfortunately, this is the trip that nobody wants to make, the runners-up journey. Adam Walsh, Chief Executive Officer at the John Good Group, will present Teeside with their medals. It is a club over the last 2 or 3 years that has built up. Won the league a couple of years ago. And won the WFA Cup earlier this year as well. So they have tasted success, just wasn't to be today. Started brightly for them though.
Yeah, did indeed. They played fantastically in the first 10-15 minutes and they got the goal that they deserved. Unfortunately fell away slightly after that, but a brilliant advert for the sport, and they've played their part and they'll be back. I'm sure this will not be their last FA Disability Cup final. Teeside have been at the top of this game now for a number of years and will continue to be so in the future.
That Teeside's presence is a changing of the guard. Aspire and West Brom have had to be bystanders this year. Proud family members and friends, of course. Can't help but be caught in the emotions sometimes, how proud you can be of players who are hampered, perhaps in normal life, but when out on a pitch, it gets forgotten and they play the game of football with great pride and purpose. And now it is Leeds' turn to collect their winners' medals. The FA's Director of Women's and Para Football, Sue Day, is handing out the Golden Glory. We were guaranteed a new name on the roll call of winners. Leeds made sure it was them. Commiserations to Teeside, but the pair showed with precision and tactical prowess. A great advert for the game. Their ability with their impairment is so admirable. That is Dylan Kelsall's sister, holding on to her brother's Player of the Match trophy. Well, for the first time, Leeds played in an FA Cup final. And for the first time ever, Leeds win the FA Cup final. Inspiring, admiring, and at times mesmerising. What an advert for the game, and it is Leeds who shine. They are League and Disability Cup winners in 2026.